Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. Adjusting my seat there. This is Naaman with the DC Camp Branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. First and foremost, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations go out also to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways. All right. And also post numerous videos, getting the word out, getting the truth out, rather. And spreading it across the four corners, trying to wake up the remaining hopefully elect. All right, here's the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Of course, this is what I'm doing. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Fair use. All right. So, went back to my old friend ChatGPT and I asked the question, was King Solomon a so-called white man? All right. And of course, it comes back no. According to both scripture and historical evidence, that's the history, okay, King Solomon was not, and I stress, not a Blanco, not a so-called white man. It goes on to say, let me explain, clearly based on scripture, history, and interpretation. So it's taking all three into account. It says the lineage, Solomon was the son of King David and Bathsheba, 2 Samuel 12 and 24. True, David was an Israelite of the tribe of Judah, descendant from Jacob, Israel. The ancient Israelites were here they go, that Shemitic people of the Middle East, not European or white by today's standards. Scriptures describing Solomon and Israelites. Song of Solomon 1 and 5, which is, which some attribute to Solomon or about Solomon. I am black, but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem. All right. Hebrew for black here is, well, you know what? Let's go to, I got it pulled up here. So you go here, and it's Shakar, all right, properly dusky it says, but also jetty black. It says absolutely, but not absolute, all right, through the idea of duskiness, which some will subscribe, dark skin, Jake, all right, of early dawn, to be dim or dark in color, all right, Shakar, all right. You could also say, well, let's go back real quick, and it's going to tell you in the commentary here. It says black, namely as the tense of Kedar. What was the tense of Kedar? Kedar was, well, let's go there. Genesis. Let's see, was that 11 or was it 10? Hold on. Let's go 10. Hold on. Oops. Thought I had it. Hold on. Let's go here to 21. I believe it was. Hold on. We have to go a little bit further to Abraham. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Instead of me going through all this, that's what I should have did in the first place. Salaki. All right, let's go. Let's see. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael. There we go. That's what I was looking. I would have been kept going and going. All right. Because this gets right before the birth of Jacob and Esau. So it says, and these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, All right, in fact, let's go on down here. Because these Muslims, boy, they like to claim, all you have to do is read. And we can go all the way to the New Testament and Galatians, third and fourth chapters. Ishmael has nothing to do with the blessing. All right, let's see. It tells you in here why. All right, let's see. Rebecca's 4, let's see. All right, I thought it was going to, well, never mind. All right, let's see. Let's see. Go straight to the point. I was going to start earlier, but because in all Abraham had how many seeds? When it talks about, mentioned Galatians, it goes into that. His blessing came out of one, not because Abraham had what? Many seeds, 8 total, which means sons. All right, so here it is. I started 12, actually 11. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that the Most High blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Laharai. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nabajoth, and Kedar, all right, and Abdil and Mitzvah. So that means Kedar was a very dark-skinned man. All right. All right. Oh. So let's go back to chat. All right. Goes on, talks about the tents of Kedar, but you got to realize it wasn't till later on in that same chapter, starting at 19, all right, and beginning with Rebecca being in trouble because she was with more than one child. Turns out they were going to be twins, and they were like going at each other. And then you had the birth of Esau, and when he came out, that's where Isaac said, I shot you. All right, because he had no pigment. All right. So anyway, I am black, but come, O you daughters of Jerusalem. Shakar, all right, Lamentation 4:8 and Jeremiah 8:21 describe the Jews' appearance as dark or blackened metaphorically and literally in some cases. David, the father, is described as ruddy, which means reddish or brown complexion. Duh. Da 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 da. Got that red tint. All right. Common for Middle Eastern people. So when you say Middle Eastern, I would be included in that at that time. But you see, people, and we know who they are, like to play word games and fuck with your head. And now ruddy to most people means so-called white man. Yeah. They even mess when you go to Adam, all right, or Adama of the ground or the earth. They mess with that and try to say that that's what Edom means. Yes. That's why you have to be very careful when you're reading, and don't be afraid to go in, all right, to the meaning of these words, and you will see some of the trickery, all right, and what they're trying to do. Anyway, historical and cultural context. Ancient Israel sat at a crossroads between Africa, Arabia, and Mesopotamia. People of the region, including Israelites, had dark to brown skin tones typical of Shemitic. I'm sick of seeing that Shemitic peoples. No credible historical account supports Solomon being a so-called white European. Question: why do some art and movies depict him as so-called white. We know why. European art, Renaissance period, often portray biblical figures as white because of Eurocentric bias. It's as simple as that. Not based on historical facts. They inserted themselves, and there's scripture for that. When you go to 1 Maccabees 3 and 48, it tells you that they put themselves, all right, in the books as such, even way back then during the time of the Maccabees. So how much more so coming out of that lower state they were in during the Renaissance, coming back into power. That tells you that in Revelations 20th chapter, that we're in that little season where they were allowed to deceive the nations once again. And oh boy, didn't they. All right. It says modern depictions follow this tradition. Hebrew Israelite teaching, all right, they strongly teach that King Solomon was a so-called black man, consistent with Israelites being a dark-skinned people. They emphasize Song of Solomon 1 and 5 and Solomon's lineage from Judah. Also, they already gave you one in Lamentations 4 and 8, but also 5 and 10. All right. Biblically, in fact, let's get that. And it says, our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. In cases such as that, you lose a lot of weight, you start to get thin, your skin darkens. That doesn't happen to so-called white people. All right? A little common sense, folks, goes a long way. All right? Conclusion. Biblically, no. Solomon was not a white man. He was some Shemitic Israelite. Shem. All right. In fact, let's go. Keep saying, well, why do you say Shem? Because it says it here. 10. All right. Let's go to 21. Unto Shem. Da-da-da. Shem. Name. Shem. A son of Noah, often including his posterity, meaning his offspring, his, all right, prodigy, his offspring, all right. See, they got that Sem there, but that's not supposed to be there. It's Shem, all right. It's with the, in the, well, I don't even have anything to write on right here. Let's see, do I have let's see if I got that whiteboard. Did I? Do I have the whiteboard? Do I have the whiteboard? Do I? Nope. God dang it. No, there it is. Right in my face. Wow. See if I can do a little finger painting here. Or writing. All right. As soon as it, what the hell is this? Oh, no. I don't need, not now. Damn it. I don't want. Hold on, people. Hold on. I didn't want this. All right, I'm back. As it turns out, I had the wrong one. I was like, why is it asking me to sign in? It's as simple as this. All right, so Shem, it would use as a SH sound. It would look like this. All right. As opposed to what they're saying, Sem, this is like the S. All right, that's the correct letter there for that. All right, and clearly it's written this. All right. Oh, let's go back. Hold on. See? Shum. All right, not some. All right, so there you go. Hopefully that'll help. I mean, the desperation in these people is, and unfortunately, a lot of people fell for it either out of ignorance or they're just spiteful and racist. All right. Anyway, it says, no, Solomon was not a white man. He was, they go that Sim, so you know it's Shem now, all right? Historically, no, there's no evidence of so-called white ancestry. Artistically, traditionally, Western art distorted the image of biblical figures. Exactly. All right. Again, being let loose to deceive the world for that little season which we're in. We're coming to a close to that, thankfully. All right. So that's going to be it. Like I said, it wasn't going to be too long of a video. And hopefully this, all right, for those of you that, hey, maybe it can help you in some way. Hopefully it does. Hopefully that's what we do here at Great Millstone. We go into things like this and bring it down to its minute detail. Hopefully, again, you were edified after watching this video. And so, until the next video, again, I like to keep saying, especially in this day, keep being circumspect. All right, especially now. Because them folks here are feeling the squeeze. All right, and we all know that they can't handle hard times. I mean, Jake is like, fuck it. So with that, until next video, hey, shalom. Yep, they can't handle adversity too well.